Hey, what's up, everybody? This is actually the first time that I've ever done an exclusive YouTube video where I just want to like hit on certain topics and talk about different things that I normally do on my stream, but it'll be exclusive to YouTube and it'll be a little more organized and focused, right? Where I won't be talking to chat or like just getting distracted by random shit. The topic I wanted to talk about today, and it's a question that I get a lot, is when am I going to get back into competing in Melee? Why am I not competing in Melee right now? Where's my Samus at? That kind of thing. And I kind of wanted to take the time to talk about that. There's a lot of reasons why I'm not really messing with Melee right now. And it's not for a lack of love of the game. I still think it's the best game of all time. It's my favorite game of all time. It's brought me the best memories of my life. It's the best. But there's a couple reasons why I'm not competing in it right now, and I'm not really focused on that at the moment. And I'm playing other games like Runeterra, Legends of Runeterra, and Valorant. I'm not really competing in. I'm just kind of messing around with it. And so I'm gonna, talk about those reasons here on this video. So one of the reasons, although this one's a minor one, is I kind of had like a lack, like just a big defeating experience with competing in Melee at Shine 2018. There were coaching issues that I won't get into, but just the way that whole tournament played out, having things go the way they did, like I was really pumped for that tournament, really excited about the opportunity to have like a coach for the event. I was really excited to do it. And then the way it actually played out, and then also on top of that, just the way that I got eliminated in the heat of all of that anger and confusion over that weekend. I was just like, it was just a big fuck this moment. So that kind of was just like, ugh, like I had so much hope, and then it was just cut away from me. It just kind of like shook me a little bit with how and that's not normally an excuse, but if I was already in a place where I was already looking to do other things, that was kind of a turning point, to be honest. I didn't really practice the same after that event, but that's one of the smaller reasons. Some of the other reasons are that one of the things is that Samus, I feel right now in the meta, is having a really really tough time, specifically with the rise of Jigglypuff and kind of the rise of Peach a little bit. I think that those two matchups are her worst, and I could definitely improve at those. I'm not trying to say that I am 100% correct here, or that my way of playing them is reason enough to assume that those characters are unbeatable. Like, for example, Duck plays those two matchups way better than I ever did. But in my honest opinion, I do think that those two matchups are unwinnable, and the more and more prominent that Jigglypuff has become over the last few years, and the less and less that those Jigglypuffs want to engage in matchups against Samus, specifically because they know that she can't really fight, has made me feel like I need a new character. And needing a new character is not specifically a reason to compete a little less. It's more that Jigglypuff has such a winning matchup there that for me to pick up a new character, it feels like it's not something that I can invest in with this being my career. Let me explain that. So I could go ahead and pick a new character and then just get good with a new character. I truly believe I could do that. The only thing is, I do feel that I'm a very slow learner. I need to spend a lot of time with something and dig in. And being in a position that I'm in where I'm getting paid to be good at Smash, it's kind of weird to turn around and say, hey, I'm going to be like sub top 1000 for the next year and a half while I learn this new character. I'm going to lose to probably everybody until I get good with this new character. Are you cool with still giving me a paycheck for that? And it just doesn't really seem right. It's not something I want to do. It's something that would bother me to the core to do. And frankly, I'm not in a position where I could afford to lose that income either, because I mean, this is my job. I'm an esports person. I I do streaming and I do competing, so I have to do both. But while I do think I could pick up a character, which would probably be Sheik, I think it would take a long time, and that's combined with the fact that I have been playing this game for 19 years and I've been competing in it for 16 years. So at a certain point, picking a new character, while it would be fun and it would help my results improve, it just feels like, I've done this a long, long time. I kind of want to try something new, and so that's one of the reasons. And then another reason that adds to that is, and this is a big, 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 big reason, because if this reason didn't exist, I would just simply do the melee thing. I'd have no problem with it. But the other reason is that Nintendo, it's just clear that they're never going to change for us. They're never going to push the scene the way that a publisher should push an esport for its game. So when I, at a certain point, came to the realization, right? I mean, we'd spent years playing this game. We'd spent years making excuses saying, they'll come around. Things will change. We're there. We're this close. And it's just never there, right? There's always like a little tease that they're changing. And then, well, they just kind of use this for promotional purposes. And then once it comes down to actually supporting the competitive scene, they're not about it. So at a certain point, I started to feel like, you know what, if I'm going to compete in a game, I don't want to compete against my fellow competitors, compete against myself and my own ability to train and get better, and then also compete against a publisher who's not going to give a shit about us. So at a certain point, I was just like, no, I'd rather play for a publisher that's going to nourish the esports scene that I'm playing in. I don't want to worry about that. Like, at a certain point, you also have to worry, like, when is Nintendo going to end this? When am I going to be forced to be done with this? And I didn't like that feeling, so I wanted to change it up. And which brings me to my next reason is I wanted to play something new. Like I said, I've been playing for 16 years, competing for 16 years, playing for longer. And you know what? I wanted to try something new. And I wanted to try something new without worrying about my rank, without worrying about, people talking shit or people saying, oh, he's really lost it, when I know I haven't, right? I wanted to just be a kid again and play some brand new. I looked into a card game, Legends of Runeterra, and the reason I looked into it is Riot, number one, is a publisher that actually cares about its esports scene. It's trying to promote it. Naturally, it does use it for promotional purposes, and some of their, like, patching or whatever may not be in the best interest of the esport, but they still do care about their esport. They definitely support it and they push it, and I want a publisher taking care of me like that. And the reason I picked Legends of Runeterra is because I feel that, like, think about it this way, right? Knowing me as a person right now, if you've seen my stream, you've seen my personality, you know how I learn things, whatever. And if I tell you, let's say I never played Melee in my life, and then I told you that, you know what, this year, 2020, I'm going to switch careers and I'm going to play this game called Melee, and I'm going to try to be one of the best players in the world using a mid-tier. What are you going to tell me? You're going to be like, actually, you have no chance, Hugo, right? You're going to think, this guy's crazy. He's got no shot. No one would believe in it, right? And I don't blame you. It's because it doesn't seem like at least the way I look at it, my particular skill set, like my strengths. I'm not saying you can't learn anything you want to learn. You can learn anything you want, right? But my particular skill set and my strengths, I feel, are better suited for a different type of game. Because even at my peak, top 15 in the world, top 10 in the world, I would argue that I wasn't even top 200 tech skill wise, right? Mechanically, I wasn't even top 200, maybe not even top 300. And so, in a game that is so demanding mechanically. So what that tells me is that my other skills are so developed and good that they carried me despite my weaknesses in a game that really values those things I was weak at. So imagine if I played a game that didn't give a shit about my mechanical abilities, like a card game. I wanted to try that out. I wanted to see if I could shine in a different game. I think I could shine in any game I want, but I just wanted to throw my strengths at a game that value those strengths more, just to see. One of the things that people might assume from this is like, oh, he's playing a Riot game because there might be more money in it. Well, the thing is, I don't really play video games specifically for money. I actually don't care about money that much. Money is not that important to me. But after 16 years of competing, I think I am allowed to say, you know what, I want to stop worrying about my future and I want to play something that's going to be a little more lucrative, hopefully. We'll see if that happens. I don't know if it will, but I trust Riot to do... I don't think they came out with Valorant, with Legends of Runeterra, pretty like a card game, a fighting game, a shooting game, to not compete with their counterparts, right? I don't think they're coming out with the card game to not compete with Hearthstone, which is a big esport. It pays way better than Melee ever has. It's bigger than Melee was, not necessarily in terms of viewership, because obviously the fan base for Melee is crazy, just awesome. But yeah, I just wanted to play a more stable game and try my hand at something new, because honestly, the learning process is such a fun experience. I mean, there's a certain point where you're deep in Melee where the returns are super diminishing, right? You could spend a month just grinding this one specific thing that in tournament might give you that one frame advantage that you needed to win this one set. And then when that happens, you're like, fuck yeah, right? But the majority of the time, you're going to get very, very little about these small incremental improvements, which are still awesome and it's still, rewarding. But when you start a new game, like when I started Melee and I learned wave dashing, and then that just, like, my skill cap just went boom, and then I learned, how to up B at a shield, right? And then boom, and then my skill cap just keeps going up. It's just a super rewarding experience, and I kind of missed that. And I think I'm allowed that after 16 years to try that out with a new game. So that's what I am doing. Like, every little thing I'm learning is just increasing my skill cap like crazy, and it's a really, really fun and really, really enjoyable experience, so I wanted to try it. And then another thing to point out why I'm kind of taking a break is that Dignitas has also been really, really cool supporting me in trying out a new game. They have faith in me being able to learn. I actually dabbled in trying a new game with Pokemon OU singles as soon as the Sword and Shield came out, and I managed to hit top 100 on the ladder within a month of the game's release without ever really grinding Pokemon before. So it told me that I have the ability to play other games if I apply myself to them. So I want to do that here with this new game, Legends of Runeterra. And also to make it clear, that the whole another point of this video is to also explain that no one's fucking paying me to play this game. No one is forcing me to, right? I'm not getting some underground deal where they're like, yo, shill for this game. No, I actually have fun with it. That's why I'm playing it. Dignitas has chosen to believe in me to be able to ascend in this new game, like I did with Melee, like I did with Pokemon singles. So now they kind of they're having faith in me to do it with a new game, and I think that's freaking awesome. So it's like less of a oh wow, we're supposed to have this really, really top tier Melee player and he switched characters and now he's like sub 1,000. That's kind of hard to swallow, right? But it's different when you say, hey, here's our top Melee player and he's trying something else out, and we're going to support him while he tries to get good at this other thing because we think he can. I think that's awesome, and they think it's awesome, so we're working on it together, so that's dope. And yeah, those are the reasons why I haven't really been playing it. I do want to say, just to close out this video, that I have no plans of retiring Melee. Like, Melee is just, I'm not done with Melee. It's just right now I'm on a hiatus, and I've done this before, so you can trust that there's probably a future where I come back and I try playing again. But I've quit twice in my career. I took a 2-year break to focus on my career in accounting at Ernst & Young, where I used to work, and then I also took a 1.5-year break when Brawl came out to focus on Brawl. Big mistake. That game's trash. But I've taken these breaks before where I think I'm done or people think I'm done, and then I come back because I've never actually said I'm never playing Melee again. And I really mean that. I definitely will be playing again. It will happen at some point. But right now, I need something new. I want a taste of something different. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm hoping you'll support me in the journey regardless. I'm still me. I'm still in the Smash scene. I'm still watching. I'm still analyzing. I'm still commentating sometimes. You saw me at Summit. So, this, like, by no means is this any kind of a retirement video. It's literally just, why am I not playing Melee as much as I used to? And that's the reason. But it doesn't mean I'm detached from the scene. I'm still in there. I'm still watching. I'm still keeping my ear to the streets or whatever the kids say nowadays. So yeah, that's this is the first topical YouTube video. Expect one every week. Thanks for watching. What do they say? Like, subscribe, follow, share, all that shit. Just do the whole thing. All right, thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with another one of these. See ya.